guys, my name is Niharika and I'm going to be talking to you about my experience in the fashion industry and Paris. A little about myself. I did my bachelor's at IFA Paris and it was a course in fashion design and technology. It spanned for 3 years and involves subjects from fashion history to 3D printing, and altogether it was super interesting and really shaped who I've become today and how I look at the industry. When I first came here, I was definitely overwhelmed. I think partly because of the fact that I was extremely shy, and secondly, because I did not expect the stress and the pressure that we went through. Which brings me to my first piece of advice is try your best to get out of your comfort zone. Don't be shy, be prepared, but at the same time, you have to understand that knowledge comes with experience and with passion. A little bit about the subjects that I studied. Obviously, you have the basics, which is your designing, your production, and your pattern making. But additional to those, we had some interesting subjects like 3D printing, fashion history, as I mentioned previously, textiles, sustainability, marketing, digital designing. So it was really like the full all-round package. And I think that's an interesting way to study because that makes you more prepared for this dynamic industry. Another suggestion is do some research before you pursue fashion, just on how the industry works and maybe particular roles that inspire you. Because otherwise, trust me, it's a very easy place to get lost. So a little bit about Paris and Fashion Week. In my experience, I think Paris had the best fashion weeks. They were obviously always super organized, and you had a variety of, I would say, events, from fashion shows to the actual showrooms or like little pop-up shops, and it was really a full experience, honestly. The thing is that it was really difficult to experience fashion week and at the same time balance studies, because in my university, our attendance was taken very seriously, which brings me back to my advice on experience helping your knowledge. I think it was really important for me to get that experience and exposure to how the industry actually functions behind the scenes, And actually, I ended up working at Fashion Week for the 3 years, like during the course of 3 years of my studies. And at the beginning, it was basically just working backstage and helping the models get ready, which for me was a very interesting perspective because it allowed me to see the chaos that happens behind the scenes. And trust me when I say it's a lot. But yeah, that's why I would also like to say that this perspective, if you have that this industry is glamorous and easy and it's just about design and flair, is completely wrong. If you have that perspective, throw it in the trash. The fashion industry is a lot more complicated than that, is very complicated, in fact. And I think when you experience it in whichever way you can, whether it's being a backstage dresser or actually being the person who is kind of putting the show together, you will understand the little things that it takes to actually make things work in this industry. So yeah, my first few jobs involved, like in Fashion Week, involved being a dresser. But I think after the first year, I moved to working at showrooms. And that was a different perspective because you see how the garments are being sold to buyers, which was kind of like watching marketing happen 1v1. So that was a really nice opportunity. And I think during Fashion Week, I did learn the most amount because I also had the opportunity to meet designers and learn from them their experiences even though I was shy, I would often ask them questions about their journey in the fashion industry and how it has evolved, and if they have any potential advice for me. I think in this industry, it is super important to network, which again, if you are shy, is not going to work out. So you really have to break out of that. So yes, networking is basically your ladder in this industry. If you have a good network, trust me, you'll be able to get wherever you want to. So networking could be anything. It could be like how I said, I would try and interact with the people I worked with the designers, or even the photographers, or the people who work backstage with me, including the models. Like, it's just interesting to get this holistic approach to the industry by, learning from everyone's experience and journey. So be super open-minded, be curious, and don't be afraid to ask questions. About Paris in general and fashion, I think Paris is a beautiful city. I would like to say that I love Paris, but I don't think I would be honest if I said that. I mean, it is a beautiful city, but it does come with its flaws, like every other thing in life. About Paris and about living in Paris, I think Paris is definitely one of the most beautiful cities. But regardless, it does come with its flaws, just like any other city in this world. So don't have high expectations, because living in a place is different from visiting it. I think one of the biggest struggles I had was the language barrier. I did, in fact, learn French before coming to France, of course, but it's the confidence that makes a difference, because if you are, like I said, if you are a shy person, in my case, which I was, it was difficult for me to find the confidence to talk, or to make a mistake in a different language, or to think in a different language. But now I'm much better, and I think it's really important for you to learn the language of the country you plan to study in, because it not only just helps you in communication purposes in case of emergencies, but also to really build your personality and your skill set. Sorry about that. So I think, yeah, it's an added benefit too, because being multilingual really does help the brain anyways. So learn French if you're planning to come to France. And about Paris, to live in Paris in general, like I said, it's not as glamorous as it seems. It's a harsh environment. There are a lot of, well, I'm not exactly sure which part of India you come from, but the one thing we have in common is that over here they are always protesting something. So there's that. Yeah, but I think in general the people are really nice. If you make an effort to speak in French, they will definitely help you in any way they can. And yes, it's just a really wholesome experience, a really great environment to learn fashion. Of course, Paris being like the capital of fashion, no other better place to be to learn about this industry. But yeah, so before I go, I would just like to say one last time, be bold, be brave, be open to opportunities, be curious, be passionate, and please do a lot of research before you take your final decision, because it's really important to have a bit of clarity when you take such a big step. And until then, all the best, and hope 2021 will bring you great things. Bye.